The first time I summited Mount Rainier, I got to the summit and had a massive migraine. I thought it was like altitude sickness, honestly, but it wasn't. It was my hydration and nutrition. And so the next year when I summited Mount Rainier again, I had a whole new strategy and I felt amazing. I'm Kristen with Unstoppable Outside. My goal is to share what I've learned in the mountains and on the trails, including my mistakes, so you can feel more confident on your own adventures. Today we're diving into part 2 of the 10 Essentials, where I break down my approach to nutrition, hydration, and sun protection. Good morning. It is dark and early, and we are heading down to Mount Rainier National Park. Today we are focusing on part 2 of the 10 Essentials. I'm going to be focusing on hydration, nutrition, and sun protection. Last week in part 1 we covered insulation, fire, and emergency shelter. If you haven't seen that one yet and you want to see me sleeping in an emergency bivy sack, check it out. It was definitely a damn experience. So nutrition is part of the 10 Essentials, and it's not just planning for having enough food for fueling your hike, it's also planning for the conditions and in case of emergency. Foods with higher fat content are going to hold up a little bit more when it does get cold. Things like avocado or mayo, that's going to be high fat. That's going to help keep things from freezing and allow you to enjoy them a little bit more on the trail. As part of sun protection, not only is it sunny, but I'm going to be hiking on snow, and I have gotten very, very bad sunburns in the past. I'm not reapplying enough sunscreen. 2 other things for sun protection in the snow is sunglasses, otherwise you can burn your eyeballs. That's no good, so critical to have sunglasses or goggles. And then chapstick with SPF. Apply that regularly. You're always licking your lips, wiping it off, and burnt lips really suck. So as part of hydration and nutrition, I purposely try to stop about every hour when I'm in the snow, because sometimes you lose track of time, or you have an objective. Like I wanted to get up that really steep part before I stopped, and that took me an hour and 20 minutes. But every time I stop, make sure to have a snack, a couple hundred calories, and drink half a liter of water. I put on more sunscreen and chapstick, so that will be my rhythm as I keep going. Another part of the hydration that you have to think about when you are out in the snow is that your water sources might be different. Lakes can be frozen over, rivers can be frozen over, like in Alaska. So you need to bring a heat source to boil water. So I have my stove and some isobutane fuel in order to boil water up here. But I've also brought 3 liters of water with me so that I don't have to boil water. So a couple other things for hydration, and especially in winter conditions. I don't do camelback with a hose. Those can freeze up. And I have had that happen in Colorado, including an insulated hose. So I just do bottles. And then another trick if it's really cold, especially with wind chill, is to make sure your bottles are upside down, or throw them in your sleeping bag with you at night so that they don't freeze, and you're unable to get the lid off and not access your water because you need your hydration. When you can't bring it all, you can melt snow, but it's going to take a lot more fuel, and it takes a lot more snow to create the same amount of water once it's melted down. So we'll also take some snow over with us to keep adding into this as it does melt down. You can see from a full 750 milliliters, it's now like 400 milliliters. And it's not just about melting it down, you also need to get it to boil to make sure, like, if there is anything in the snow, that it boils off and makes it safe to drink. I'm gonna do the electrolytes in my hot water instead for the salty hot chocolate, so that this continues to replenish the sodium, potassium, and magnesium that I lost from sweating so much hiking up here. So we still have a pretty big chunk of ice in here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's getting there. Since I'm at 8,200 feet, we will let it go for 3 minutes then once it's boiling. So thanks for joining me for part 2 of the 10 essentials. We covered off hydration, nutrition, and sun protection. I hope you learned something new. I certainly love sharing it with you. So hit that subscribe button if you want to learn more as I cover off on part 3, repair kit and first aid, and part 4 will be navigation and illumination. Well, my lights and equipment UL pillow that I got this summer has a slow leak in it. So part 3 of the 10 essentials is repair kit, and we're gonna have to figure out how to patch it up. So stay tuned.